Hello, everybody. Today I'll be talking about the changes in physical states in relation to the particular nature of matter. For this segment, it will be quite generic. It won't be so great in detail. So let's begin. So what happens is a change in physical state. Okay, they do not produce new substance. And what is actually happening, okay, is basically heat is taken in from the surrounding. So you either absorb heat, okay, and this only occurs when you are undergoing melting, comma, boiling, or evaporation. Okay, heat is given out to the surrounding when it undergoes freezing and condensation. Okay, in other words, if I were to draw a very simplified diagram, okay, so we start off with solid, liquid. Okay, let me change the color first. I have three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. What is happening is when you absorb heat, okay, it will result in melting to occur, and of course boiling, or which happens at a fixed temperature, and of course evaporation, which occurs at any temperature below the melting point. So these steps actually, heat is taken in from the surrounding. Okay, so this one. Next we look at the other side, which is heat is lost. So condensation and freezing. So in this case, heat is released. So sometimes when you go to upper side, you realize you will also be able to see these changes through a diagram. So this is an example of a heating curve, whereby through the heating curve, you're able to tell the different states of matter, where on the x-axis, you have the time of how heat is applied, and on the top, you actually have the temperature. So as you heat something, you will have a shape of a heating curve that may be in this manner. So this actually shows that as time increase, temperature increase. So you are in a way really heating. Now, what actually happens is, what are all these straight lines? This straight line will tell you two different things. This straight lines tells you the melting point, and the boiling point. Okay, so if you were to draw dot dot dot, this is the one. Okay, the straight horizontal line. And in between them, you can actually tell the states of matter. Okay, it can be either, so at the start, usually you start off with a solid, okay, a liquid, and gas. Now, what do I mean is these are the area which I highlight. So liquid is here, gas is this one, and solid. Now, what happens in between? What is this state of change in between it? This is where there is a mixture of two states occurring, because it's actually one very sharp temperature. This is in a way, you have your solid state and also your liquid state there. And in between here, you have your liquid and your gas state. Okay, so in the event that an exam question comes out where it tells you a heating curve, you might be just required to know how to identify the curve, where to find the melting point, where's the boiling point. Okay, then of course, if you want the other spectrum, which is a cooling curve, okay, it will be something like this. Same thing, you have time. Same thing, you have temperature, where these two are two separate things. Of course, you realize that the boiling point, and this is melting point, or in other words, you can say it's the freezing point. Okay, it's the same, but it's just that the slope is actually moving downwards. The graph is moving downwards, as you can see here, as compared to this that is moving upwards. State would also be different, where you start off with the gaseous state first, then followed by the liquid state, and then the solid state. And in between is two states for the horizontal line. Okay, so you can see that the ones that are actually moving downwards, the diagonal lines, they are your one state only, and the other graph is this. The horizontal lines are the mixture of states. So these are some of the things that they can ask you in exam. Now, how do they why the particles are behaving in this way? Then please refer to my other YouTube video in chemistry on the kinetic particles of matter chapter. So over there, it will actually explain in great details how to interpret a graph as well as what actually happens when there's a change in state. But for now, for lower secondary, this generally is sufficient. But of course, do read up more, especially from the textbook. Okay, the Pearson textbook will be able to illustrate even more examples and explore other informations on the internet to find out to learn more about this chapter. As I say, this particular video here is not to substitute whatever learning materials you have, and it's never to replace and it's never to replace the textbook. Please go and get the textbook and to read up more. It is your choice. Okay, and at the end of the day, do your own sufficient self time for revision, as these videos are not a one-time miracle where you'll be able to pass your exams with flying colors after watching it once. Um, but if you really like the video, please smash the like button and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon in the next chapter. Thank you.